The night lay heavy upon Thessar, the crystalline forest stretching out beneath the cold light of distant stars. The air here held a peculiar stillness, as if it were the breath of some slumbering giant. Around us, the bioluminescent flora cast a gentle glow, their tendrils whispering secrets only the deep earth could understand. I sat beside Lyra, watching over her as she slept, her breathing even and untroubled despite the storm she had unconsciously stirred. Her skin, pale and ethereal, seemed to drink in the light, a subtle radiance emanating from her that was not wholly of this world. As I watched her, my mind wandered back to the ceiling, to the moment when time seemed to splinter like glass, and the air had thrummed with something primal and indefinable. To channel ether is to hold the essence of creation itself, a gift bestowed upon the trained and disciplined few. Yet Lyra, this child, had wielded it as if it were merely an extension of her being. I remembered the tear in reality, a gaping wound that oozed chaos into the corporeal realm. We had prepared meticulously, invoking the rites taught through centuries of Walker wisdom. I with my staff, the conduit through which the energies could be tempered and directed. Yet, as I began the incantation, it was Lyra's voice that rose unbidden to join mine. The memory of that moment washed over me with a chill. Her voice, clear and unyielding, had resonated with the vibrancy of the ether itself, matching and surpassing my own incantations. The energies had leapt at her command, converging upon the rift, and sealing it with a finality I had not anticipated. In the aftermath, a silence settled, one that seemed more profound than any sound. The forest around us was unchanged, yet charged with an unseen tension, like a string drawn too taut, ready to snap or sing. I had stood there, my heart heavy with a mix of triumph and trepidation, knowing that what had transpired defied the laws of nature and the learned doctrines of my forebears. A soft rustling drew my attention back to the present. The forest held its secrets dearly, the branches swaying lightly under an unseen breeze, vines shimmering with a spectral glow. I remained vigilant, my gaze sweeping over the surreal landscape, ever watchful for any disturbances that might imperil the girl or myself. Yet it was another kind of disturbance that troubled my thoughts. How could it be that Lyra wielded such power? The Walkers had always believed that mastery of ether required years of practice, the honing of one's soul and spirit to withstand its demands. But Lyra wielded her gift with the ease of one born to it. I felt the weight of centuries settle upon my shoulders. The collapse, that cataclysmic event which had sundered time and space, its effects rippling through the fabric of existence. Had it changed more than just the landscape of the world? Had it altered the very nature of the ether itself, giving rise to new possibilities, new dangers? Lyra shifted in her sleep, her brow furrowing as if caught in a troubling dream. I reached out, my hand hovering above her, feeling the faint thrum of power that coursed through her even now. She was not just a child. She was something else, something that defied the understanding of a world that had become strange and unwelcoming to those like me. As the moon hung low, casting its silver mantle over the world, the fatigue of ages pressed against the edges of my consciousness. I had borne witness to the shifting of epochs, the rise and fall of civilizations. I was the last of the Walkers, a relic from a time whose echoes were fading into myth. Yet here was Lyra, a paradox wrapped in innocence and potential, and she had done what none had thought possible. The forest was a tapestry of shadows and light, the bioluminescent plants weaving patterns that seemed to pulse with a life of their own. I could almost hear them singing softly, a lullaby for the lost and weary. Despite the beauty around me, a melancholy settled in my heart, a yearning for the certainty of days long gone. In that maelstrom of thoughts and emotions, I searched for answers. To harness ether was to touch the divine, to tread upon the threshold of godhood. It was meant to be a burden borne with reverence and restraint. But Lyra seemed unshackled by these tenets, her power raw and untempered. As she lay there, I could not help but wonder at the true nature of her being. Was she a harbinger of change, a symbol of a world reborn from chaos? Or was she merely a vessel, filled unknowingly with the remnants of a shattered reality? The forest remained silent, save for the gentle susurration of the leaves, a lullaby of this alien place. I looked up at the night sky, the stars burning distant and cold, and wondered if somewhere out there lay the answers to the questions that now plagued me. These thoughts wove themselves into the tapestry of the night, a world suspended between dream and waking, and in the quiet moments, in the spaces between breaths, I could almost hear the voice of the Aether itself, whispering truths I was not yet ready to understand. The hours slipped by and the moon lowered its solemn gaze. I glanced at Lyra, her presence both a comfort and a conundrum. Her every breath seemed to draw from the fabric of the cosmos, a rhythm matched by the gentle sighing of the wind through the crystalline leaves. A sense of wonderment filled me, mingled with a dawning dread. What if the collapse had indeed rewritten the rules, not just of the physical world, but of the metaphysical? What if Lyra was not an anomaly, but the first of a new kind? The thought chilled me, even as it filled me with a strange hope. Lyra stirred again, her eyes fluttering open, the depths of their blue capturing something of the night's mystery. Her gaze met mine, and for a moment we were both silent, held in the quiet intimacy of shared secrets. "What did I do, Kael?" she asked softly, her voice a fragile thread drawn taut by uncertainty. I hesitated, choosing my words with care. "You did what few could, Lyra. You touched the ether, and it answered your call." Her eyes widened, a mixture of fear and awe. "I didn't mean to. I just felt it." I nodded, understanding more than I could ever explain. The collapse changed many things. It seems it has changed the rules of our world as well. She sat up, pulling her knees to her chest, her gaze distant and contemplative. "Does that make me a danger?" "A danger?" I echoed, the weight of her question hanging heavily in the air. "Perhaps, but also a hope, if you choose to be." As the night wore on, we spoke of many things, our words weaving a bond stronger than any oath. The truths we shared were but shadows of what lay ahead, and I knew that our journey together would reveal more than either of us could predict. The moon began its descent, and a pale dawn light seeped into the world, chasing away the shadows. Yet as the forest awoke around us, I watched Lyra with a new understanding. In her, I saw not just a survivor of the collapse, but a consequence of it, a living testament to a world irrevocably changed, and the possibility of what might yet come to pass.